Hello and welcome. We are John and Sarah Rampton with 6-8, and we are so excited to be here for our third annual SOUPerBowl event for Circles Sauk Prairie 2022. It's great to be together here. We encourage you to comment on Facebook or YouTube as we're going along. Share what your favorite soup was or any other comments that you have as we go along so we can all be together here. We hope you're enjoying the bowl that you chose to enjoy your soup with, and that you're able to enjoy it for years. We are so honored to hear from Samantha, one of the young women who made some of your bowls. And so here is Samantha making your bowls.
So what's the process of spinning these bowls?
Well, the process is basically having the clay being manipulated through your hands. So using a lot of water, some tools, some sponges, you're able to use a lot of hand techniques in order to shape it into anything that you want.
So what does it mean to you to be able to help people through making these bowls for this fundraiser?
Great question. I think it's an amazing opportunity to be able to share your art and provide for community, give back to it, help raise awareness, and just be part of this amazing program. And yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a great opportunity.
We work hard for what we got. Seems like we just need a lot. The debts keep rising above our heads. I wish that we could save instead. Say money's our God, makes our decisions. But if money's our God, I want a new religion.
Thank you to Samantha and all of the art students and art teacher at Sauk Prairie High School who made the amazing bowls for this year. We also hope that you have enjoyed or are enjoying your meal, the delicious soups, bread and desserts, the salad. We are excited to hear from our chefs as they introduce themselves and share a little bit about their soup. The first that we will hear from is Cheryl and Angela, and Cheryl is one of our Circle Leader graduates, and Angela is a current Circle Leader. So here are our chefs.
Hi, I'm Cheryl,
I'm Angela.
and together we're making
Taco soup.
beef taco soup.
Beef taco soup, excuse me.
And we're doing this for Circles.
Yes. Because they're a really good program.
We've both been Circle leaders, and this program has really benefited us both
Yes.
in very large ways. So this is a way for us to give
Our
back.
families, our friends, it's
Yeah.
affecting everyone around
Yeah.
us. That's why it's called Circles. Was that good?
Hello, my name is Luci Breinik. I am here to introduce myself and tell you why I'm actually going to be making some of the soup for the SOUPerBowl. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 8 years old. So between the Red Arrow restaurant to the Penguin to the Eagle Inn to the Press Box, which I actually learned how to make soup there. But their signature soup I was not going to make because that is their thing that they taught me. So Diane Zeman and Tekla Mosman, we had so much fun learning, growing. So I was not going to make one of those soups because I take that as sacred. But Mike Boss cookbook came out, which he is also one of the persons that's going to be making soup. I think it's a cabbage soup of some sort. But someone brought me that recipe that it was the Firehouse French onion. And I'm like, well, I can make that, because she just loved it. And then her in-laws really loved it. So I'm like, well, okay, well, I'll try it. So I tried it, and so I've been making it probably for a good year. And they always think it's spot on. So I said to John and Sarah, well, I can make that one if you'd like. So as we kind of went back and forth and learned everybody else's soup and what they were making, and we were trying to get a variety, that was the one that we decided on. So if you like French onion soup and the Firehouse recipe, then you come on down and you pick up some to go. And I really love too that they're really 6-8 is incorporating the people at the high school that are doing the pottery and making those bowls. That is incredible. And nothing better than doing a fundraiser for Circles. Circles is something that everybody needs to understand and be part of. It helps people be independent, and that is something that is in my heart and my soul. Anyway, that's it. So anyway, if you would like some soup, hot and fresh, come to the SOUPerBowl and pick it up. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Mike Boss, and I'm a retired restaurant operator from Sauk Prairie. I think this is the third year that I've been asked to participate in the SOUPerBowl, and it's my great pleasure to support 6-8 and their efforts again this year. This year I'll be making an old-fashioned cabbage soup, which my dad taught me how to make many years ago when we cooked together at his restaurant, the Firehouse Supper Club in Prairie du Sac. I love the flavor combinations of this soup, which has its origins in Russia, of all places. This is not a vegetarian soup, as it does have slices of Polish sausage in it. Got a little sour cream in your refrigerator when you get home. Put a dollop on top of the soup and sprinkle a little dill on top of that for a perfect combination. I sure hope you enjoy my soup, and thank you again for supporting 6-8. Thanks.
Hi everyone, Chef Roman here at Wollersheim Bistro in Prairie du Sac. I'm really excited to have made this soup for this SOUPerBowl event going on this Sunday. So what we did for the event here is a creamy chicken and wild rice soup. So we have some carrot, celery, and onion, some sauteed button mushrooms, some smoked chicken, all tied together, and some cream and chicken broth. So really homey, kind of savory, comforting soup. We'll also include some of our wonderful traditional French baguettes that we make here at the bistro. So I just hope that this event goes really well, and come and visit us here at the bistro as well. We're open 7 days a week. We do lunch, make all our own bread, soup, sandwiches. So thanks, and hopefully see you soon.
Our last soup was from the press box. They made their signature chicken dumpling soup, which is always delicious.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is more Sauk Prairie than press box chicken dumpling soup. So hope you are enjoying those soups, and such a great variety, and just great people from our community. We're so honored to have the chefs that we had and the soup makers come together and make the meal delicious for you. This event started 2 years ago with the National Honor Society. When Claudia Miller needed a NHS service project, she approached us, had this idea, and it was launched and sponsored the event that first year. And we were thrilled to have Cassie Rattle come back last year, and now Faith Holler as her senior project, Amelia and Jonah joining as juniors to help make this event possible for us each year. We are excited to hear from Faith. We're going to have a chance to hear from Faith as well as Jonah and Amelia, and just exactly why they got involved.
Hi, my name is Faith Holler, and I am a senior here at Sauk Prairie High School. I am a 3-season athlete, the co-vice president of my class, as well as a member of my school's National Honor Society. Being a part of my school's National Honor Society, we each get the opportunity to have our own personal service project. Amelia Pape, Jonah Richards, and I are honored to be working together this year to make the annual SOUPerBowl event possible. This event raises funds for 6-8 Circles program that focuses on getting people right here in Sauk Prairie out of poverty. When purchasing a ticket, you will receive 5 different soups made by celebrity chefs in our area, a salad dessert, as well as a handmade clay bowl personally made by a Sauk Prairie Art Department student or teacher. This event will be following a drive-thru service this year, and tickets will be available to order online. I chose this service project as I have participated in numerous service experiences that 6-8 has held. Through participating in these volunteer opportunities, I've gotten to experience joy through service firsthand. I love what the Circles program stands for, and I can't wait to see all the positive impacts the Circles program has on the Sauk Prairie community.
Hi, my name's Amelia Pape, and I'm a junior at Sauk Prairie High School. I'm involved in tennis, track, dance, and show choir, and I'm also a part of the National Honor Society. I chose this as my service project because I think it is a great way to raise money for those in poverty.
Hi, my name is Jordan Richard. I'm a junior at Sauk Prairie High School. I'm involved in cross country and lacrosse, and I'm a part of National Honor Society. I chose to help with this event because I have volunteered at 6-8 over the past few years, and I think they are a great organization. The Circles program really makes a difference in the lives of the participants.
At 6-8, we are passionate about reducing poverty in Sauk Prairie. We work with individual circle leaders in our Circles program who the leaders are working so hard to get through poverty, to reach financial and personal stability. We know that there is just so much instability around us. We are living in unstable times, if you will, and it makes it hard to learn, hard to focus, hard to plan or look to your future if your world is unstable, you know. And so we are celebrating this week, Sauk Prairie Poverty Reduction Week. The idea that if we reduce poverty, if we work and our programs and our charity is targeted to helping people get through poverty and reduce that number, then we increase the stability of our community. And so we are honored to be working with a number of partners, organizations, and groups in Sauk Prairie, businesses as well, this whole week to celebrate, raise awareness of just what it means to reduce poverty in our community and how do we go about doing that. The Sauk Prairie School District is one of those partner organizations, and we're thrilled to hear with Superintendent Jeff Wright on ways and how reducing poverty impacts the education of our community.
My name is Jeff Wright, and I'm proud to be the superintendent in the Sauk Prairie School District. I've been in this district for 10 years, 3 as the superintendent. Prior to coming to Sauk Prairie, I had the privilege of being a high school principal on the south side of Chicago, where my wife and I lived for about 9 years. But I grew up in Stevens Point, so not too far from here. And after going to grad school and going and working in Chicago, it was time to come home to Wisconsin, and I'm glad to be in Sauk Prairie now.
Cool. How long have you been in education?
I was a teacher for 5 years, and then I was a principal for about 9, and now I've been doing work as an administrator at the district level for about 10 years here.
Awesome. Okay, what brings you joy in education?
There's a lot that brings me joy in education, and I'm lucky that every day my job is very different. So I can spend part of the day in elementary school working with our youngest learners, and then like an hour later be sitting with a high school senior talking about where they want to go to college, and kind of using my experience as a high school principal to help them make decisions about what they want to do next. And so I think what makes me happy in my current job is there's a lot of work that I get to do behind the scenes, and that I know that there's a lot of work being done, but if it is done well, most people will never notice it because the system just works. And so whether it's the fact that meals are served where they're supposed to be and that buses arrive on time, that our buildings are cleaned, taken care of, that we've got great teachers in every classroom, like just all the work that it takes to make sure that things happen for students every day. If you don't notice those details, it's probably because they're being done right. Because when you notice those things is when they're going wrong. And it brings me joy to help make those systems work for all the kids and families in the district.
Awesome. What impacts do you see poverty having on education in Sauk Prairie?
Poverty has an impact on education in every district, including Sauk Prairie, because there are a lot of things that you can't do as easily unless you have your basic needs met. And so if I want students to be ready to do higher order thinking and take advanced placement classes or do an apprenticeship and really challenge themselves intellectually, it's hard to do that if you're hungry. It's hard to do that if you're worried about where you're going to live, because of potentially having some instability in your housing conditions. And I think that those are some of the biggest impacts that poverty have here in Sauk Prairie. We have very expensive housing costs in the community. And so for those who are on the lower end of the pay scale or the economic scale in our community, it's hard to get accessible, affordable housing that is consistent. And so if you're worried about where you're going to live, if you're worried about where your next meal is going to come from, it's hard to focus on school. And it's obviously why we make sure that we provide meals in our schools, why we try to make our schools a second home, and for some kids maybe a first or most stable home. Because if we can make sure kids aren't hungry, if we can make sure that they feel stable and loved and welcomed into the buildings, hopefully we can make it easier for them to do the other higher order thinking things we want them to do as students.
Awesome. And then, so how would reducing the number of families living in poverty in Sauk Prairie impact the education of our community as a whole?
Well, as I was saying, I think we want every student to be able to be ready to learn every day. And if we could reduce the number of families that are in poverty, and therefore reduce the number of kids who are worried about where they're going to sleep at night, or worried about where their meals are coming from, or how they're paying for their health care, that if we can reduce those worries, it empowers students to really take on their learning and hopefully be as successful as possible.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for your leadership and for sharing with us today. We have a bunch of thank yous before we get to the best part of our program. So we think that the best part of what we get to do today is hear from a circle leader. And so we will do that in just a minute. But before we do that, today's event, like John mentioned, is the culmination of Sauk Prairie Poverty Reduction Week. And so Shep's Cottonwood Resort kicked the week off with their fishery last year. Over 200 people went ice fishing, and they raised over $7,700, which is just amazing. Yes, thank you, thank you. And so many other businesses that participated, offering incentives and raising awareness and funds for circles in our community this week. So we would like to thank Bonham Theater, Concordia United Methodist Youth Group, Country Auto Repair and Detailing, Culvers of Sauk City, Dwarf House Supper Club, Flax and Fleece, Green Acres, Jody Anderson Holistic Health and Massage for Women, John Joseph Coffee, SP Fitness, SP Nutrition, and Tools of Marketing. So thank you to all of those businesses who have been raising funds this week. We thank again our chefs who made soup for today, the pottery students, and Mr. Roshbach, who the art teacher at Sauk Prairie High School, who made all of the bowls together. The NHS advisor, Mary Walls, as well as all the NHS students and volunteers. Faith, as well as juniors Jonah and Amelia, who helped with planning this year and will lead the project next year. And our SOUPerBowl planning team, who has been working for months to make this event happen. We also thank our 6-8 staff, and in a special way, our current donors and volunteers who make circles happen week in and week out. We get to meet every Monday evening as a community. And so the donors and volunteers who make that happen, we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, stability allows us for learning. It allows time and space for dreaming, for goal setting, generational stability amidst a world of instability. And within circles, it gives space and time, because the way Circles is set up, it's a weekly commitment. After 14 weeks of training, they make a 2-year commitment, and we meet weekly with your allies and trained volunteers that way. And that consistent week, and there's a meal and there's a routine that brings that stability into somebody's lives that maybe instability was running rampant, and it gives that permission and time and space to dream. And so our Circles program is just that. It's a wraparound then, and it gives permission for the leader to set goals, make dreams, and then follow through and have a plan and reach that stability. And it's amazing to watch the impact that it's not only having on the leader, but even leaders have brought their parents to come and be circle leaders, and they bring their children, and to see, multi-generational impact is happening at one time is beautiful. We see that stability in not only in our staff, in our volunteers, our allies, and all that's involved. It's just amazing to watch happen. And I'm honored to introduce to you one of our circle leaders, Shantae, and she is going to share just what Circles has done for her. So how has Circles impacted you?
Circles was a class that was set up for me where they said, hey, the reason that people end up in your situation needing assistance is for two reasons. It's either generational, that you learned it from your parents, or situational, which is what ended up happening to us. And we thought we were doing a really good job at making more money and working harder in different jobs and trying to get out of our, not out of our situation, but just into another way of life. But sitting in our Circles class changed our perspective of that the system is not exactly designed to help you get out of it. It's designed to help you while you need it.
And how has Circles impacted your family?
Well, they provided food every Monday, which was awesome. Childcare, even though yes, it's childcare, but doing homework with them and playing with them and teaching them and letting them play with books no matter what age they are. But also giving us, giving my husband and I the first chance we've ever had to actually be in a class together and learn together. It was more of a self-awareness for me and a self-awareness for him. And it allowed us to set goals for ourselves and then come together and be able to make choices together.
What is one example of a goal that you accomplished?
Okay, so part of our Circles lessons, our teachers brought in a bunch of magazines and they said, hey, we're gonna make a dream board. And I kind of felt like I was in grade school again. And not that that's a terrible thing, but it was kind of weird as an adult. And they said, hey, dream big. What are your goals? What is your big dream? Like if you could have anything you wanted and you didn't have to work for it, what would you want? And I had no idea that putting anything on this dream board was like setting a really big goal. With Circles' help, I game planned a bunch of different kinds of jobs. And they were like, hey, is this really feasible for your family? Is this actually gonna make the money that you would like to make? And I know this is a lot of talk about money, but actually getting a job and then feeling really proud of the work that I did for that job and being paid for training and then having everybody in my class just clap because it was a milestone. We got a job that was like making double digits instead of single digits. It was a huge deal. And anyway, so I did that and I got that job, and because I was able to set that goal for myself and be working on it and proving to myself that a job was sustainable if I stuck with it, and that and then having my husband learn the same thing, that he was able to get a job and sustain at it, or be sustainable with it, even though it wasn't something he was planning on doing forever. Both of us being able to stay consistent ended up making us eligible to move into a house instead of our apartment. One of the people here ended up putting us up for that house and saying, hey, like, we have a family we think that might qualify for this. And so it is literally because of Circles that we were able to have more space for our family. And Circles has basically said, hey, like, we're not just going to fix your problems. We're going to teach you why maybe some of this stuff is happening and give you the resources and encouragement you need to keep moving forward and not give up.
And is there anything else that you would like to share with someone who may not know much about Circles?
I've read over and over and over that Circles and 6-8 are helping people out of poverty, and I don't particularly like that word. So I would say that I would like Circles to be able to be tied to financial stability for anybody, for a person, for a family, no matter how young or how old we are. It's not a place that's saying, hey, you're messed up and you're broken and you screwed up your life. It is a group of people who are saying, hey, there are resources around you, and there are people who actually would like to help but don't know how. And so they're going to learn, and you're going to learn, and we're going to tag team, sticking you guys together and having you build your own community. Being able to utilize both of those things together and be able to create healthy boundaries is beyond amazing. And so I would encourage anybody who feels like they're stuck or they're just living paycheck to paycheck. Not only is there a place for you to learn, but there's a place for us to set a new precedent for the next generation and give us the tools and the words and the ability to create a future for our kids that's different than the one we lived. We don't have to keep repeating what we've known. We can learn something new and teach them something new so that we are better equipped to be their community when they're bigger.
Thank you, Shantae, for sharing her story with us all. It's an inspiration. And we get to hear those stories all the time, different stories about people, where they're at and where they're going and their plans, and to celebrate milestones and cheer, each other on. And really just remind each other, that we're better than our mistakes, and that if we work together, we can be stronger as a community. It's exciting to share with you all too that we have our class 2 of circle leaders and allies are in training. We are proud of all the work that is already going in and the lessons that are being taught. The circle leaders have been in training since September. Our allies joined in November, and then we're coming together here on Monday, February 28th, when we'll have our certification of our allies and our circle leaders. They've completed their training, and that's where the joy and the messy work begins. If you're involved in circles, you know what that means. And we get to journey together, and form those relationships and the goals, and celebrating just life together that way. So if you are reminded, put it on your calendar, February 28th, to pray for our allies and circle leaders when they will be then matched with their support team, their group, that circle, begin that journey, and they get to know each other and go forward there. We invite you all, any of you, to be a part of the movement of Circles Sauk Prairie, be a part of the movement of reducing poverty in our community. And you can do that in a lot of ways. You can just share this video on YouTube or Facebook or any of your platforms, share it out, tell your family and friends to watch it, to learn more. If you already know some about, you can get involved more, you can learn more. In your bags, you received one of these programs, and in there was some information on circles, brochures, as well as a way to get involved with your time and your money. And so we encourage you to consider that prayerfully. Check that out. Look at different options. If you want to learn more before that, please reach out to us and check in. So we encourage you to get involved in one way. This video will be linked on our website. There'll be links in the video too to connect to our website, and you can learn more about circles right there. So
yeah, we are so grateful to each of you for being here, for being a part of this movement, for being a part of this event today. Like John said, we'd love to talk with you more about circles. We will talk to anybody about circles all day. We just love it and are so proud of our circle leaders and our allies who are working so hard to work through poverty towards that personal and financial stability. It is a lot of work, and they are doing it, and it is amazing. So if you want to hear more about Circles Sauk Prairie, we'd love to talk to you. We are working to reduce poverty in Sauk Prairie by 10% in the next 10 years. And it's a big goal, but we are excited to tackle that and to walk alongside individuals as they do this work of getting towards personal and financial stability. So thank you for being here today and for being a part of Circles Sauk Prairie. God bless.
Enjoy your day. Goodbye.